India will play a major part and a key partner in the development of the post-decarbonization era. We are really grateful for the invitation to the G20, and thanks to India and particularly Prime Minister Modi for inviting Oman. You have a wealth of goodwill in the hearts and minds of the Omani population. Digitalization is going to be and is at the moment a key driver for change and transformation. The war in the Ukraine, unfortunately, is affecting everybody, and I really don't see any way out of it except through a political process, a dialogue. Diplomacy has to be given the fullest chance to really find us a way out of it.
There has been talk of a visit by the Sultan to India to further our political relations. Is that likely to happen soon?
He is on top of his priorities, this visit, and we are delighted and excited about the realization of that visit in due course.
Hello and welcome to the Raisina Ideas Pod. My name is Ashok Malik. I'm chair and partner of the Asia Group's India practice. With me today is a very important and close friend of India, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamood Albusaidi, the Foreign Minister of Oman. Welcome to the Raisina Ideas Pod, Minister. Thank you for being here. Let me start with the first question, the question that is critical to this edition of the Raisina Dialogue and to our world, really: decarbonization and moving towards a post-oil economy. This is vital to global security and the global economy, but no country feels it more perhaps than Oman. And Oman has made an ambitious bet on renewable energy, on solar, or now on green hydrogen. Could you lead us through Oman's post-oil decarbonization renewable energy strategy?
Well, thank you first of all for the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me. I am absolutely delighted to be here, to be in India, and to be among friends. The relationship, obviously, as you have alluded to, is a blooming one. It's a reliable relationship, and I am really 100% sure in relation to your question that India will play a major part and a key partner in the development of the post-decarbonization era with regard to where Oman really stands at the moment. We have introduced a very ambitious target to reach zero carbonization by 2050, and tackling the various elements of the sector of the economy, which will be transformed really from the fossil fuel-based economy into an economy that is based on renewables. And this is the direction of travel. And we cannot do it alone. It has to be in collaboration and partnerships with global partners. And I think importantly, is to really harness the partnership with India, our closest ally here in this region, in this field.
Thank you. Apart from decarbonization and renewable energy, the other area of focus for India in the past few years has been the digital economy. It's got a fillip in the COVID period and the post-COVID world, of course, when so much of commerce and business and even living has moved to the digital sphere. And in terms of digital public goods, the infrastructure in India is something India is quite proud of. I understand there is growing digital cooperation between India and Oman, and there is a growing ambition to accentuate Oman's own digital landscape. Some thoughts on it?
Digitalization is going to be and is at the moment a key driver for change and transformation. Oman is really embarking on a very ambitious process of digitalization, e-government, the digital economy is going to be the name really of the day. And this is really, I think it is also capturing the inspiration of our young population, the youth. You find digitalization nowadays in every home almost. So this is the way to go. And yes, you're absolutely right. I think there's a lot going on between Oman and India in this regard. I think there's a lot of opportunities also are going to be driving this aspect of the relationship, particularly when it comes to further innovation and further growth in the sphere of digitalization.
And I understand the Indian UPI system, the Universal Payments Interface System, is about to happen.
Yes,
finding acceptance in Oman as well. In our part of the world, or in your part of the world, maritime security is a perennial concern because you are so dependent on the sea for connectivity, for prosperity, and for living, really. The traditional security providers in this part of the world have been Western countries, Western powers, such as first Britain and then the United States. Now, we live in a world where we'll have to work together. Asian countries will have to work together. India and Oman will have to work together. And indeed, they are, to tackle piracy, to push connectivity, the more and more ship visits. How far can this partnership go?
Oman and India share a common vision when it comes to maritime security. We have been a seafaring country for so many years. The freedom of navigation is very important for trade, for connections, cultural connections, for peace and security. What is really important principle to adhere to, and we fully support and share that, is the absolute adherence to the law of the sea and international law to ensure that maritime security remains intact. And we collaborate quite intensively in the fight against illegal trafficking through the seas. We command a very important air channel, airway, which is the Strait of Hormuz. This is very key for global economy. And so we have an extra really responsibility in maintaining the freedom of navigation through the strait and through the Arabian Sea and the Sea of Oman and beyond. And India is a very important partner in this regard.
Minister, political relations with India have always been strong, but in recent years, Prime Minister Modi, of course, traveled to Oman, met the late Sultan, a person he had great regard for as a wise man of the Gulf and of global politics, really. It's been 3 years since Sultan Haitham bin Tariq assumed the throne. Of course, his early years have been interrupted by the COVID pandemic, which made travel difficult. There has been talk of a visit by the Sultan to India to further our political relations. Is that likely to happen soon?
His Majesty the Sultan is very much looking forward to his visit to India, and it is very much likely to happen in the foreseeable future. We are working on the mechanics of that and the logistics and the timing, of course, that is still yet to be agreed between the two countries. So yes, indeed, I mean, he is on top of his priorities, this visit, and we are delighted and excited about the realization of that visit in due course.
And you are here, of course, for the Raisina dialogue, but you were also here for the G20 ministers' meeting. The meeting, in a sense, saw a lot of agreement on a lot of issues, but did not see agreement on one issue, the war in Ukraine. Do you feel that the war in Ukraine has, in a sense, diverted attention, unfortunately, from many other global issues, pressing issues, especially after the pandemic and in terms of the global south and the economic conditions under which many countries find themselves? What is the way out?
First of all, we are really grateful for the invitation to the G20, and thanks to India and particularly Prime Minister Modi for inviting Oman. We found our participation really useful, beneficial, and there's a lot to learn from and exchange ideas and knowledge, and I'm really looking forward to following up some of the outcomes of these discussions and these meetings. So yes, the war in the Ukraine, unfortunately, is affecting everybody, and it has diverted attention from the real issues that we really need to focus resources on, development issues, digitalization, technology, innovation, new energy, renewable energy, and the like. Climate change is an important challenge that we ought to really devote a lot of attention to. I hope very much that the war in the Ukraine will come to an amicable conclusion, an end to it, and I really don't see any way out of it except through a political process, a dialogue. Diplomacy has to be given the fullest chance to really find us a way out of it, where both sides can feel they have won a win-win outcome of this crisis. Of course, I think it goes without saying that any solution will fundamentally has to respect the rule of law, international law, the UN Charter, and these are all important principles we have to adhere to. But dialogue and a political solution has to be found at the end of the day.
Thank you, Minister. Your adherence to international rule of law and whether it's the law of the sea, which you spoke about, or whether it's respecting a country's sovereignty is well noted and well taken. These are values India shares with Oman as well. Since I have moved from diplomacy to business, I need to end this with a business question. India and Oman have had people-to-people and cultural relations for eons, for decades, for centuries, really. I mean, we've all grown up on stories of fishermen from our country going to Oman or vice versa, in little boats, doors, and so on. But as we've seen with many other countries of the region, India's footprint has grown as we have gone up the economic value chain. Do you see a situation when a globalizing India uses Oman as more and more, or Muscat perhaps, more and more as a alternative business capital for Indian business, for Indian innovation? What can we do to make that happen, and which sectors do you think we should be pushing? Actually, I'm asking for free business advice.
Yes, well, our connectivity, India and Oman, goes back, I think, for over 5,000 years. I mean, we are just across the ocean. And there is nothing, I think, in my view, more important than ensuring the flow of people-to-people connections. It is important. You have a wealth of goodwill in the hearts and minds of the Omani population. We really share many things. We share even traditions, culture, food, folklore, and there's so many similarities and compatibilities between the two sides. So with that background, I think the future is promising, I must assure you, and assure our young, especially the young, they are the future in both countries. I constantly, it's in my mind how we can really facilitate those connections among young people, because they're going to determine our future, the future for both countries. So startups, SMEs, innovation, ideas are all welcome. Oman is open for your youth to really come in both directions and explore opportunities in this field.
Wonderful. That is a wonderful way to end the conversation and hope for a mutually prosperous future.
Thank you so much.